Are you over age 60 with a significant IRA and wondering if you should convert it to a Roth? Well, I'm Chris Camburn, and I've written the guide Retirement Planning Tips for 2021. And in this guide, I talk about something called a serial IRA to Roth conversion, which might be helpful for you. Stay tuned to learn more. I wrote this guide for the investor over age 60 who is currently retired or seeking to retire within the next few years. I realize there are many ways to manage your savings and investments, and a few of my techniques are described within this guide. And although I'm providing you with information that's timely as of this writing, the rules change every now and then, so be sure to fact check all the information presented or contact us for a personal consultation. Inside this guide today, we're going to talk about serial conversions, IRA to Roth IRAs, but this piggybacks on some other tips I've written. I'll link the videos below, topping off your tax bracket and a Social Security analysis. So let's get started today with serial conversions, IRA to Roth IRAs. So in the lead-in, I mentioned if you're over age 60 with a significant IRA. Clearly the age is obvious, and a significant IRA in this case means someone who has over $1 million in their IRA. That's where I start to see this strategy become impactful. So it's good at the $1 million level, even better to $2, $3, $4 million level. And I say over age 60 because, as you probably know, that by age 59 and a half, you can start taking monies, when you're over age 59 and a half, you can start taking monies out of your IRA and not pay the 10% early withdrawal penalty. So further, when you reach age 72, you know that you have to take money out of your IRA. Now, something that you need to know is you cannot convert required minimum distributions to a Roth IRA. So if your required distribution is $50,000, you cannot take that $50,000 and convert it to a Roth IRA. Those monies have to make it to your bank account essentially. And so if you want to convert more to a Roth IRA when you're over age 72, or if you want to convert monies to a Roth IRA when you're over age 72, you first have to take your required distribution, and then amounts over that required distribution can be converted to a Roth IRA. So I'm not an advocate of converting all of your IRA to a Roth IRA if it's going to increase your tax bracket. I mean, this strategy here is to minimize or govern your tax brackets. So at the lower end, some people can convert all of their monies at once, but on the higher end, you can't take $1 million out of your IRA, convert it to a Roth, and expect yourself to be in a lower tax bracket. So from the links below is also my strategy for topping off your tax brackets. You're going to have to know what your tax brackets are, take monies out of your IRA, convert it to a Roth, and maintain a reasonable level of tax rates. And to repeat this year over year over year over year, it might be helpful to start this strategy prior to reaching age 72, because again, at age 72, required distributions can't be converted. So this strategy is best executed between ages 60 and age 72, and there are some calculations to be involved to top off your tax bracket, convert amounts to a Roth IRA, and have that Roth monies be tax-free, pay taxes on the conversion amount. And it's not difficult to do. You just have to know what your tax brackets are, and then what your future expected required distributions are, because in some cases, $2 million IRA, the minimum required distribution at age 72 could be around $78,000. Maybe you want to take out a little bit ahead of time to smooth out the distribution so that when you hit age 72, required distribution age, you're not taking out massive amounts of money. Again, a link to this guide is below. And again, all of this information, all of these strategies are created by reading the rules. And the rule book is IRS Publication 590A. There's a link to it in the guide. And it reminds you can take all or part of the amounts out of your IRA and convert them to a Roth. You just have to do it in a timely fashion within a 60-day window. And this can be executed with a straightforward approach. There's always outliers who want to push the strategy too far, but this is designed to be a straightforward approach. Use your existing mutual funds in your IRA, the existing stocks and bonds, index funds, ETFs, whatever existing stuff at a traditional investment firm you have inside your IRA. That's the monies to use for this. So you have 60 days to execute this. Very easy when it's inside the same firm. It happens within a matter of days. So So you don't have to worry about that time element. And just know that every dollar you take out of your IRA, no matter when you take it out, before required distribution age, after required distribution age, early, all monies that ever come out of your IRA, you'll pay tax when you take them out. Now, if you're someone who's been doing periodic distributions to avoid the 10% penalty, you can continue to do that, and you can convert parts of that to a Roth IRA. But again, once required distributions, you can't convert amounts that must be distributed from your IRA for a particular year under the required distribution rules. So again, once you reach age 72 and you have to take out required distributions, that required amount cannot be converted to a Roth, but you can take out more. If it works for you, you can take out more and convert it to a Roth, but required distribution amounts cannot be converted to a Roth. And that's why it's important to look at this strategy ahead of time before you reach age 72 and have to start taking out real big amounts of money and thought, oh, it would have made sense to take this out a little bit earlier. Again, strategies here are piggybacking off of my topping off your tax bracket strategy listed in the links below. But in doing that, converting some amounts to a Roth IRA may be beneficial to you. Links to this guide are below. If you liked the video, hit the like button, share it with a friend, provide the tip to someone else as well. Perhaps you can be helpful to someone else too. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you back here on the channel real soon.